planet Earth, a place of constant change at the hands of powerful beings, us. Hundreds of thousands of miles into space, and deep beneath the Earth's surface, we've created an amazing world, shaping continents, creating ingenious monuments, and transforming landscapes. But the only way to fully understand the scale of our influence is to witness the world without it. If we suddenly disappeared, what would happen to our highways, cities, rivers, our greatest monuments? Enter a desolate world. A world without humans. 1 minute from now, every single person on Earth will disappear. It doesn't matter how, or that it's far-fetched. What's important is, what will happen when we're gone? Of the billions of people in the world, half live in cities. Farms and pastures cover a third of all dry land. We've dammed and diverted half the world's major rivers. $500 million cars clog the roads and highways. We've affected the air, the sea, and the land. But had we changed the Earth forever? If we vanished, could the planet recover, even erase all evidence that we ever existed? The moment we disappear, the world starts to change. There's an eerie silence in cities that are suddenly a little cooler. The average human body puts out as much heat as a 100-watt light bulb. Take away 8 million people from New York, and the entire city cools down by a fraction of a degree. Even though we're gone, the machines we left behind keep working. All over the world, hundreds of planes approach airport runways. Most descend at over 100 miles an hour, and today, all with empty cockpits, every landing will end in a fireball. Thousands of other planes fly through the sky on autopilot. Many will stay in the air for a few more hours, but when the fuel runs out, gravity will pull them back to Earth. In a world without humans, cities continue to function on thousands of automated systems. Computers keep in touch with hundreds of satellites, which will continue to transmit information across the globe, as long as the power stays on. Power is generated by more than 50,000 power plants around the world. In the U.S., coal-fired plants produce half of the country's electricity. To keep the fires burning, they require a steady supply of coal. But there will never be another delivery. The coal plants start to fail. The western grid is knocked out by a rolling blackout. The shimmering lights of Las Vegas will never shine again. The Dark Ages are back. The sun is still shining on North America, and thousands of cars are still running. Every gallon of gas they burn sends 19 pounds of carbon dioxide into the air. This greenhouse gas can pollute the sky for the next 100 years. Without us, another source of man-made global warming is also disappearing. Planes send out water vapor in their exhaust, and the cold air transforms the vapor into clouds. But as the last planes fall from the sky, these man-made clouds disappear with them. Fuel-starved jets aren't the only disasters rolling through this new world. The lions have moved from the park to the porch as they continue their search for food. An unusual sight. Overhead, birds are migrating. And without humans around, many more will survive this year. At night, birds use the stars to navigate. With the power on, lights and glowing skyscrapers resemble stars, so birds often circle them all night and die of exhaustion. But in a world without humans, there is no power, so migrating birds fly more safely through major cities. Millions will reach their destinations. Their population will boom. On city streets, dogs have gone from pets to predators. Within a week of losing their human masters, they're forming packs and fighting for dominance, which hasn't happened since 2005, when Hurricane Katrina forced humans to evacuate New Orleans and leave many dogs behind. The dogs started hunting in packs and threatening humans. But not all dogs are equal. With more than 400 different breeds, some varieties, like this poodle, don't have the size or strength to compete. In the next few weeks, most smaller dogs will be killed. At nuclear power plants, diesel generators are finally running out of fuel. The power goes off for good inside the spent fuel buildings. The cool water stops flowing. The temperature starts to rise. In just a few days, the water will boil and evaporate. And without people to stop it, a nuclear disaster greater than the world has ever seen is now inevitable. A massive dose of radiation, 500 times greater than what was unleashed on Hiroshima, will be released. This is a nuclear disaster, and there's no one to stop it. A deadly mix of radioactive particles spews from the plant. Some of them, like strontium-90, will be dangerous for 300 years. Plutonium will be radioactive for 240,000 years. Pine trees near the nuclear power plant are first to die. Radioactive particles cling to their bark and resin. In a world without humans, this scene is repeated again and again. Nuclear power poisons the earth we left behind. There are 6 nuclear power plants in Illinois. Radioactive smoke fills the streets of Chicago. the site of the world's first self-sustaining nuclear reaction. Fires break out at many of the 30 nuclear plants located in the eastern U.S. Each one is almost 20 times more radioactive than the Chernobyl disaster. Many of Europe's 173 reactors also ignite. Their spent fuel burns. Carried by the wind, the radiation is an invisible poison that settles over thousands of square miles. Winds push radiation away from the reactors in Europe. If conditions are right, it could reach as far as North Africa. Now that we're gone, nature is reclaiming the Earth. Nothing is immune. Millions of miles of roads and highways are slowly being invaded by moss and lichen, and all they usually need is water. Cracked roads are filled in with moss and grass. A once carefully groomed soccer field now grows wild. Fast-growing trees take root where children once played. All these new plants allow nature to soak up greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide faster than when humans were here. Year after year, our grip on the land is loosening. But humans also tried to rule the sky. And now, even that reminder of our time on Earth may disappear. Once, Earth was so well lit, it was easily seen from space. But 30 years after the lights went out, Earth's inhabitants watch a new kind of light show. Hundreds of strange shooting stars fly through the sky. A few even make it to the ground. The fiery wreckage contains clues that these are not normal meteorites. These shooting stars are some of the last survivors of the space age. Humans left 25,000 objects orbiting the Earth. Most of it was junk, clamps, pieces of rockets, remnants left from our 50 years of working in space. And without us, there's nothing to keep it from falling back where it came from. Welcome to a world 30 years after humans disappear. There is no power. The screech of cars and jets will never be heard again. But cities are still filled with life. Wild dogs hunt in packs, roaming the roads and sidewalks we once roamed. Plants and trees are taking over. New York's Central Park is actually getting bigger. Dirt and seeds blow through the city and take root everywhere. Manhattan turns from gray to green. Times Square once was a hotspot for millions to celebrate the start of a new year. Now, it's being engulfed by a blanket of green. Nature is reclaiming the world, city by city. In London, young trees sprout in Trafalgar Square. In Berlin, a forest surrounds the Brandenburg Gate. once the division of East and West Germany. "30 years after we disappear, glass tumbles onto deserted streets. Once, glass-covered office towers symbolized the modern age. There was more glass in one skyscraper than all of the glass made during the Roman Empire. High above them, hawks and other raptors are on patrol, keeping an eye out for scampering prey. The concrete jungle is born. Humans may be gone, but we're still contributing to this destruction. We burn fossil fuels and pump tons of carbon dioxide into the air for more than 100 years. Now, the planet is slowly getting rid of our pollution. As carbon dioxide returns to Earth, it mixes with rainwater and produces carbonic acid, which eats away at the world's concrete. Much of our modern world rose from concrete. Now, these soaring buildings, engineering marvels, are ready to fall. Cities all over the world face the same fate: a slow disintegration. Without windows, high-rise offices are now occupied by birds and animals. Exposed to the elements, ceiling tiles and drywall are no match for more than half a century of wind and rain. Rust is everywhere. Moisture has penetrated the walls and doors, and paint peels off every surface. But the damage goes deeper than that. A city like Paris gets up to 25 inches of rain every year. Now that the windows are gone, nothing can stop the rain from flooding the concrete skeleton of this office tower and creating cracks. Once, the Thames was a gateway for thousands of ships, but its high tides and storm surges often threatened to flood the city. So, one of the largest systems of floodgates was built to hold the waters back. But without people, the river is out of control. Tides have sucked boats into bridges, creating dams and forcing the Thames to flow around them. The banks are flooded. London returns to the marsh that the Romans found here 2,000 years ago. In the American Southwest, the problem is too little water. This is Imperial Valley in Southern California. Once, it provided half of America's winter fruit and vegetables. With 350 days of sunshine, some crops had 4 harvests a year. But only 3 inches of rain falls annually. The dry air helps preserve buildings, but it's deadly for crops. People intervene to make this desert bloom. Farmers brought in 977 billion gallons of water each year from the Colorado River. Enough to cover every surrounding field in 6 feet of water. But when we disappeared, the irrigation stopped. What was once California's farming miracle is now a barren desert. Another man-made oasis can be found 300 miles northeast. Las Vegas. Built in the middle of a desert, its casinos and fountains use water brought in by electric pumps. When the power went off, the taps went dry. Now, with just a few inches of rain a year, the desert is reclaiming the city. But nature hasn't erased all evidence of our presence. This is the Colorado River. It hasn't changed much in the 150 years since we disappeared. But long ago, it was much deeper and stronger. It even helped carve the Grand Canyon. Today, the Colorado is still a shadow of its former self. Dozens of dams were built to harness its strength and keep it from reaching the ocean as a torrent. Humans also built reservoirs to contain its massive power. And there the waters will stay as long as the dams can. $600 billion cubic feet of water bursts through the dam and gushes downstream. The surge is over 50 feet high. It sweeps through the Grand Canyon toward the Hoover Dam, which was built to hold back 45,000 pounds of water per square foot. This is its greatest test yet. The water pours over the Hoover Dam, sweeping away everything in its path. The Colorado River rages southward at 25 miles an hour, swamping dozens of dams on its way. "18 hours later, it reaches the Gulf of California. And for the first time in centuries, the Colorado River meets the ocean as a flood, not a stream. The release of the Colorado will transform this part of North America. Fish from the ocean will come to this estuary to spawn. A vast marsh, once one of the wonders of the Americas, will be revitalized. Hundreds of species will find new homes as river and ocean combine. Nature is reclaiming the world. Oceans too. Once, we took 518 million pounds of fish from the sea every day. Now, with no trawlers to catch them, fish live longer and grow bigger. Cod have tripled in size, growing from just a foot or two up to 6 feet. Much larger creatures are also recovering in our absence. Whales are thriving after 200 years without people. And they've had a lot to recover from. Before the petroleum industry, whales were a major source of oil for machines and lamps. Most whale hunting declined when humans started extracting oil from the ground. But many species remained on the brink of extinction for centuries to come. The reason? Large modern ships. In our last 50 years on Earth, the number of ships worldwide doubled. So did the noise they generated. Some of the sound from these vessels carried for miles under the oceans. As a result, whales could no longer hear each other's mating calls. And they rely on sound to find mates up to 1,000 miles away. With humans gone, whales' mating songs are being heard from Canada to the Caribbean. After 200 years, our impact here is vanishing. The oceans once again teem with life. But on land, there are still relics of humanity that remain. We built symbols of our power when we ruled the earth. But how long will they last? Which of our monuments will be the first to fall in a world without humans? Signs of the human species are becoming harder to find in North America. The eastern half of the continent is covered by immense forests. Without us to cut them down, trees are growing 90 feet tall and blocking the sunlight. But the trees do more than tower above old suburbs and roads. They bury them. After 230 years, falling leaves have created 3 feet of new soil and cover nearly everything we left behind. Occasionally, rain-swollen streams reveal the remains of human existence. This is all that's left of a home, centuries after the wooden beams and floors rotted away. Plastic from modern houses also litters the ground. This cell phone is still intact, more than 200 years after the last phone call. It may survive for centuries. Most metals have rusted through, but stainless steel is truly stainless. This kitchen sink may last for thousands of years, but for animals to last, some need to adapt. In the West, caribou and deer roam over millions of acres of former farmland. And once again, so do the thunderous hooves of bison. Their herds can grow by 30% a year. From a species of 500,000, their numbers are now reaching into the tens of millions. 1,000 years after every human disappeared from Earth, The iron of the Eiffel Tower is almost gone. It has slowly eroded and become part of the Seine. In New York, the Statue of Liberty has fallen into the forest. Her iron skeleton finally gave way, and her body collapsed. But her pedestal still towers above the trees around it. Made of solid concrete and granite, it will last thousands of years. But time can wipe away all evidence of humanity, especially as the world turns colder. A new ice age grips the planet. Gradual changes in the Earth's orbit take it further from the sun. Snow will stay on the ground in northern cities for 2 summers in a row. Then, a chain reaction causes ice to cover most of the northern hemisphere. It will stay here for the next 100,000 years. Once again, glaciers travel south and eventually reach Manhattan. They'll grind down what's left of the Statue of Liberty and any other sign of human civilization left in the north. Planet Earth is 4.5 billion years old. In that context, human civilization is just the blink of an eye. It took us 10,000 years to cut down half of the world's forests. But after we disappear, they grow back in just 500 years. Once, we used half of all fresh water and changed the course of half of the world's major rivers. But some dams were washed away in just 200 years. We pumped 13.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the air each year. But in just a couple hundred years, plants and oceans were scrubbing the earth clean. It took just over a century for our major cities to start crumbling, for forests and swamps to cover what used to be concrete and asphalt. The planet was even able to handle the nuclear legacy we left behind. After we disappeared, thousands of tons of radioactive particles were released. But nature was able to bury most of it. And some animal species not only survived, they thrived. Earth is resilient. In time, it cleaned up every mess we left behind. All we had to do was get out of the way.